Chris, I know you're extra excited today.
Well, I mean, we got a lot to get to. I mean, I'm excited about the show. I'm excited about this Mariners win yesterday, Paul. But happy National Root Beer Float Day, Paul, to you. There you go. Everybody else out there, hope you're enjoying a root beer float. My question to you right out of the gates, though, is I enjoy root beer with my ice cream. That's why it's called a root beer float. But there are some out there, Paul, that would enjoy a little orange soda in there instead. And I know you're a fan of the Fanta orange, sun-kissed orange soda.
Yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong, except maybe a ginger ale in here. I wouldn't want to do that, but orange, Fanta grape.
Fanta grape with your ice cream.
Absolutely, mix it up, man.
Okay.
The orange, what is that, the creamsicle? That would be awesome.
Creamsicle,
so, yes.
yeah.
Thank you very much, my man.
A couple scoops of ice cream in there for you. Don't get any on the shirt over there.
That's okay, I don't care. Right. People understand I spill on, I'm old, I spill on myself.
I watched Ted Lasso last night, by the way. It's back. Good little episode there, too. Yeah.
People love Ted Lasso, and I didn't think it was going to come back, but it did.
You're a soccer fan. Do you like it?
I'm not a big, I don't follow. Listen, there's so many other things to watch on television. I mean, I appreciate the fact that people love Ted Lasso, and I tried to get into it. I just can't get into it. So there's the honest truth.
That's what this show is about. It's honesty. It's expressing our emotions, our feelings, and the Seattle Mariners have brought that out of us this season.
That's for sure. All right, we talk about the Mariners. We talk about the Seahawks. We got a big day coming up here on the show. Let's get a look at what is coming up here on the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. We, of course, are going to talk about the Mariners. Brian Wu with a strong game last night. We'll talk about the M's win over the Tigers. We'll take a deep dive into the Mariners' chase rate as well. We'll explain exactly what that's all about. Greg Bell, the News Tribune, will join us. We'll talk Seahawks and even a little Mariners as he gets a little worked up. And the Huskies and Cougars are 1 month from kickoff. A lot of training camp stuff to get to, and we'll hear from those guys as well. So both sides of the ball being represented on this show, Chris. But let's start with the Mariners. It took a stretch of 16 straight innings, but they finally got an extra base hit last night, a couple of big ones, as Julio and Colt Emerson went deep in a 4-2 win over the Tigers. But not before a little dust-up between the two teams. Emmanuel DeJesus hit Cal Raleigh with a pitch in the 7th.
Hit him in the stomach.
Gabe Speier comes out and throws at Gleyber Torres. First pitch missed, but the second one was on target. Hit him, and that's when things got a little heated. I know you want to chat about this. But, it was unusual to see Raleigh get hit in the gut.
We've asked on this show, and I've heard it on other shows, for the Seattle Mariners to show us a little life, a little fight, a little energy, a little grit. And we finally saw a little fire, Paul. Will Gabe Speier be the one that gets this team on track? It's just a spark. It's just a spark. I can say this. I don't know. I hope that this sparks the team and it turns into a bigger fire. I'm going to tell you what, I loved how every player was out there. Gleyber, either fight or move on down to first base. I'm with Jay Buhner on this one. Why are you just going to sit there and talk trash? One of two things, head down to first base or go after the pitcher. But Gabe Speier, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm sure he would have rather hit him with the first pitch instead of the second one. That's why he probably got tossed. He was obviously going after him there, and Speier had no problem with it at all, Paul. He looked him right in the eye, and when he got tossed, there was no reaction. He knew he was head out of the game. Dan Wilson came out. He did his job. He got tossed after arguing about it as well. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this? Do you think sometimes a little fight could be the spark?
First of all, my man, thank you for not calling it a brawl.
It was not a
home plate gathering.
Yeah, it was a Seattle showdown, if you will.
Holy cow. No arms were extended even in this thing. It was just a chat at home plate. I mean, I like the fact that Torres had gotten Cal Raleigh's face and took a little exception to it. I love the fact that these guys, that's what it is, the unwritten rule in baseball. You hit our guy, we're going to come back and hit your guy. So, listen, I understand all that, and I'm just glad that let's just not call it a brawl. It was a chat, and do you really believe Dan Wilson was hot, or do you think that the fact that he just had to go out there and support his guy?
I think he had to support his guy.
Absolutely.
I think he totally had to support his guy. I mean, I can't read lips, but I'm pretty much sure he said, hey, toss me out of here. The one that escapes out of this without any, is A.J. Hinch. Let's remember, Mariner fans, he once wore an Astros hat, once had an Astros hat on. Let's hear a little bit more for A.J. You know what? what? He was part of that scandal.
Well, the cool thing about Hinch, though, is he came out and he diffused it right away.
Yeah.
He ran out there right away. He got between Torres, Raleigh, and the umpire, basically told the umpire what he thought was going on and got his guys away. So I thought, as much as Mariners fans like to bash on Hinch being the Astros manager, he's done nothing but a tremendous job with the Tigers in their turnaround season from where they were just terrible in April and May. It's amazing they're even in a wild card race. So they have a lot to fight for, too. So I just thought that it was a cool move by Hinch to go out there and diffuse this thing right away. And that's probably why we didn't see a whole lot of pushing and shoving.
You actually make a really great point. A lot of people are talking about this tough August and how they have to take care of business against the Tigers. This is a good Tigers team coming off that sweep against the A's. And yes, they were terrible in May, but they have been fighting in June and July and now in August, and they're right there in the thick of things. So if the Mariners can win this series, that would be a great series win before the Rays come to town. But we're not done talking about the benches clearing. What do we even call it?
Conversation.
Conversation, yeah. Here's Julio Rodriguez and Dan Wilson on the conversation.
I mean, I was just ready for whatever was going to happen, honestly. I just, ultimately it just ended up being just everybody was standing up there. I feel like everybody knew the situation, and, nobody wanted to take anything forward from that, and fine by me, but I feel like ultimately I was just ready for whatever we needed to do.
It's always frustrating when your guy's the guy that gets thrown out, and I think their guy hits somebody and there's no consequences. So just frustrating, but I was glad that we were able to come out of that, and even though Zardo gave up the homer, able to get out of that inning, and then Colt, I think with the answer back there, I think was huge.
Sometimes it's good to have a little spark.
There you go right there from Julio Rodriguez himself. Good to have a little spark. He had a nice home run last night. Colt Emerson had a big bomb in that game as well. Will the spark light a fire? That is the big question now. We know this, though. Brian Wu was very sharp last night. He has been so solid at home this season, Paul.
No doubt, Chris. Whose house? Woo's house. This guy is unbeaten at home this season. He's 7-0 at T-Mobile Park with an earned run average of 1.96. He threw 7 scoreless innings last night, scattered 3 hits. 2 things stood out to me, Chris, last night with Wu. He hit 3 batters, which is unusual for him.
Yeah.
And he also got a lot of help on defense, and, that's a pitcher's best friend. So he kind of bobbed and weaved last night, but, man, he has just been incredible at T-Mobile Park.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch, and we're going to talk more about that defense in a sec. As for hitting 3 batters, Wu did talk about that after the game. He says that was unusual for him. The curveball just curving a little too much last night in this game, but take a look at those stats. 7 innings, no runs, no 3 hits, 1 walk, just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 91 pitches. He was great. But Wu's best post-game comment from last night was his last comment. He was asked about the state of the team right now. Brian Wu, very honest with his answer.
I think, having the deadline pass is a big one. Just kind of everybody can take a deep breath and know that this is the group that we got. I think it's the message. Honestly, is more of just it's not as much like it's got to look a certain way or feel a certain way. It's been an ugly season in terms of what we expected or what we wanted, but we still can do what we want to do in terms of where the American League looks like and what the West looks like. It's a weird thing about baseball, but just continuing to show up every day and stick together, I think, is the biggest thing. If we show up every day and enjoy coming to work every day and the people that we're working with, and we're giving it every have every night, then I'm very, very confident in this group and what we can do.
Brian Wu, and that's what you want to hear from a pitcher, Paul. Just very even keel. Not too high, not too down. Not like me, not like myself, who's just
You're all over the board,
I'm
buddy.
all over the board. You want Brian Wu. You need Brian Wu on this team. And he said it. It hasn't been pretty. It's been ugly. It's been ugly. Yeah. But if we stick together, and we're going to talk about it with Greg Bell. I mean, this is a bad American League West. If you can stick together, fight through August, find your way through September, you're going to find yourself as the American League West champs for a second year in a row. So I like everything Brian Wu had to say, and you talked about defense, and they helped Brian Wu last time.
Yeah, that was it was interesting to see because Randy Arozarena gets railed for his defense, and Dominic Canzone not too far behind. But all season long, we have talked about defensive play in left field. Randy hasn't been great in Game 2 of this series. Randy was focused and dialed in, and he made a couple of huge plays. Canzone also needs to be playing every day because of his bat. He showed he can also play in the outfield every game. He made a great play last night. He also just continues to shine on both sides of the ball. Now, these defensive plays may seem small, but when your offense is only putting up 2 to 4 runs a game, these plays are the difference between winning and losing. And last night, it was nice to see Randy and Dominic deliver on defense.
Awesome. I feel like Randy and Dom definitely, did a great job. Dom holding off Glaber off on a double that then ultimately allowed Randy to throw him out. And then, just the diving play he made. Randy also kind of robbing a homer-ish kind of. And I thought all that was really good plays that, kept wooing the game, kept, the whole offense from the other side at bay, and it definitely helped us out to win the game.
Those plays are huge. I think, in that particular inning, they were trying to put together an inning, and they had some balls that they were able to hit off of Brian and find some holes. But, when Dom can play that ball off the wall like that, hold him to a single, you still keep your double play in order. And then with Randy, coming up, throwing on that play and putting it right on the bag, to get an out. Not only did we, hold a runner, but we were able to get an out, and that's huge. And then, obviously robbing a home run, there's not a whole lot to say about that. But, those are just huge momentum plays. And I think, you could see the reaction from Brian on the field and just, how much that pumped him up and how much it lifted him up. And that's why those plays are so big.
I wish everybody at home could watch what I'm seeing on this show already today. Paul Sylvie, not only running the prompter, he's eating a root beer float. He just shut the refrigerator because I left it open for a second day in a row. And when you leave a refrigerator open, it dings, and it's been dinging. And Paul had heard enough, so he just closed the refrigerator. So that's been concerning, is my lack of shutting the refrigerator. Also concerning Paul, Edward Bizzardo right now.
Yeah, last night, Bizzardo, he pitched 1/3 of an inning and gave up a home run. In his last 10 games, he's 0-1 with an ERA of 10. And, man, this is a guy that really had it going midseason, Chris, but there's some questions now.
Yeah, he has struggled, but he has also he's had a very heavy workload right now. Sir Anthony Dominguez should help to lighten that load a little bit. There's his stats from his last 30 days, 11 innings pitched, 8.18 ERA, not good. Now, Sir Anthony struggled in his Mariners debut, but down this final stretch, he should help out Bizzardo and the rest of the Mariners bullpen.
I feel really good. Some of the guys that I know, they play here, and I know it's a really good team, a really good club, and I'm happy to be here to help the team win.
Tell me about this bullpen, to be part of this bullpen with Andres and Eduard. There's some big names there.
I know it's a really good bullpen. I watch a lot of baseball, and I know almost everyone. Ferrer, he training with me in DR. I know Vargas is here, but we train together during the off-season too. And I know Basardo, Munoz, and they're really good guys. And I know Brash is here, but I hope he can get back soon.
Mentioning that, good things, with 2 months to go, this team is right in the thick of the playoff hunt. Just kind of how exciting is that, to know that you're one of the guys they went after to help this team get there?
Yeah, like I say, I want to be one of them, good teammate, good friend, do my best and inside of the field, and happy to help.
Well, the other night he gave up 4 runs in his 1/3 of an innings of work. But Dan Wilson talked in the dugout right after that and said basically he's not concerned at all with this guy. He's a veteran reliever. They're paying him $10 million for a reason. That's the White Sox did in that contract, Chris. So it's like this is a guy who Wilson is not worried about. He's these guys all have that transition period. It just had a rough night. He hadn't pitched since Saturday, so a little bit of rust there as well. So these guys need their work.
High leverage arm. You like to see him. Bizzardo needs a little rest. I think he's working too much. I think the fact that this team is going to have a couple in Vargas and Brash coming back sometime in August, that will definitely help in this bullpen as well. All of a sudden, you go from 4 to 5 high leverage arms to having 6 to 7 high leverage arms. So that will be key.
Yeah, a lot of people looking forward to Brash coming back as well as Criswell mid to late August.